morning, viewers. How are you today? Yes, I got you guys first. It's so great to have you on the show with us this morning. Thank you for joining. It's another beautiful Sunday morning. How have you been? How was your week? And what are you looking forward to in this week? Just let us know in the comment section. And Prof, how are you doing? Good morning to you.
Bibby, I see you're still stinging from last time, so you it's okay.
Of course.
All right, the viewers love you, but I don't know what's going on. You see, I don't have to do all of that stuff. Yeah, they know where we stand. We're good, guys. We're good.
Yes.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very well, thank you. It was a very, I think there isn't any week now that is not busy. Even the week that you took off work, so let's say you were on holiday or something, for my life, actually, it's always busy. So my week every time would be, it was a very busy week. But of course, interesting stuff happened. And just grateful to God.
So why don't we do this then? Why don't we do this? Since the weeks are always busy, I'm sure it's the same for a lot of people watching. Let's not talk about the business. Let's talk about what's different. What's interesting, what's lovely, what you enjoyed about the week. Because look, the business is going to be there. That's part of our life.
Absolutely, yes.
So I think that this is October, okay? Mm-hmm. So we are now firmly and squarely in the middle of the month. This is by next week, or this week that we've just entered. This is the penultimate week of the month.
Absolutely,
yeah. And so that means that we're in quarter 4. For a lot of people looking forward to the festive period, getting things together. I'm sure some people have started Christmas shopping.
Yes, that's right.
And for those who celebrate with our cousins across the pond, they would say, well, they're preparing for Thanksgiving next month, and it's just coming to a month now. So good stuff. The weather's gone down. That means, we all have to be now, dressed warmly, going out, and sometimes dressed warmly in the house. But that's all good, right? The changing weather, that's part of the variety of the spice of life. So good stuff.
Yeah, it is. As you rightly said, the business will always be there, but it's like the other interesting things that we get to do. So for me personally, what I always like to do is at the end of each week, I just like to kind of reflect on what happened throughout the week, because I'm trying as much as possible to live a life of gratitude, as much as so many things will not go as planned and all that, there will be things that maybe I didn't even pray for, and they just happen, and they're great things, So I'm choosing to be very intentional about how I've lived my week, and then just looking at, and then moving away from, when someone says, "How was your week?" "Oh yeah, it was fine." The way I'll say, "Prof, how are you doing?" "Oh yeah, I'm fine, thank God." But maybe you're actually not fine. It's like getting to that point where you can say, "Actually today I just feel like whatever." But anyway, we are grateful to God. We thank God for life, for keeping us alive and well. And as you said, the months are changing. It's middle of October, almost end of October. And what does that really say to us? That means winter is coming, right? So you said it. I noticed, even in the house.
Hang on. Do I see a movie or TV series reference?
Oh yes. Game of Thrones. Yes, winter is coming. So everyone needs to get ready. So if your heating is not working, better make sure it's working. Check all your boilers and your heating system. But and what does that really say? With all the COVID period, the fact that last year we were being told about, you need to get vaccinated because of winter. So because at that point there will be potential for a slight increase in number of infections and whatnot. But remember last time we were on lockdown, so there weren't so many activities happening outside. But now a lot of things, and it's so amazing how we used to say that things would never go back to normal. But I see a lot of things actually going back to normal. One of it is that you travel on the trains, right? And they're as packed as pre-COVID level. Even with masks, not everybody on the train wears a mask. So you can be on a carriage and it looks exactly like what it looked like before COVID. So that to me is like some things are going back to normal, and even in the office as well. So like my own organization, for instance, they've said to us, they've taken out all of the social distancing measures in place and all of that. So you can come in, just sit down. So you're all expected to have been double vaccinated. Of course, you still have like sanitizers and whatnot everywhere, but again, people walk around the office, even though we've been encouraged that if you're moving around, you should wear your mask. But you literally see people not wearing masks, and people are comfortable to come and sit next to you and talk to you. You haven't seen them for a while, so they want to catch up and all of that thing. So for me, it's like a whole lot of things have come back to normal. However, this winter coming probably be different because we still have COVID very much around that people are still dealing with. And I know that the government have been encouraging people to go out for their booster jabs. And then there's been invitations for flu jab as well. And Prof, what I want you to talk about this morning, because I know this is like your own field, so you should know about this. I heard someone say something like, oh, I've been invited to come and take flu jab. Why do I need to take flu jab when I've already taken the COVID vaccine? And initially I thought, yeah, that means you're double vaccinated. And I'm thinking, actually, no. The flu jab is different from COVID vaccine. But there might be other people out there as well who are thinking, do you know what? I thought I got jabbed so that, most importantly, for winter period where the COVID is more like it has more a thriving environment, if you like, right? And now you're asking me to come and take my flu jab. Bear in mind, not everyone actually takes the flu jab on a yearly basis. In fact, even me personally, I have received a text message, a letter directly from NHS, a letter from Boots inviting me and my children to come for the flu jab. And I'm thinking, okay, it seems they're using all avenues to invite people to come. So what do you say to that? Is there any, do we have to worry? Is there need for worrying, or do you think there are two separate things and not each of them doesn't have anything to do with the other? You can go ahead and do what you need to do if you're comfortable.
Well, thank you. I think you already know what my answer is going to be. And I think, stepping back and coming from the perspective of, look, we've done a great job. And I say we as a nation, as a people, going back to when we started this conversation, 8th of December, 2020, when that first vaccine was given. And prior to that, all the conversations, and we know people who had started off saying they weren't going to have the vaccination or they weren't sure about the vaccines and so forth. And here we are, right? Here we are as a nation, having turned the corner. The vast majority of people have taken the vaccines. And we are in a situation that you described in which many things have been opened up to a fair degree of at least non-restriction, right? So that's a win, right? And we celebrate the wins. The fact that we're now able to, see family, travel, abroad necessarily, potentially, and go and see family and do things. Obviously, being sensible to take precautions. I think all of that is a win. And I think what we're saying now is really, let's not become complacent, okay? Yeah. Because winter, like you said, this is the first experience we're going to have where there's a winter in which, since COVID, of course, where there's been a winter in which there will be no restrictions, or at least so far, no restrictions. And so that means suddenly we're not now just talking of the potential spread of COVID, which I think for many people, they would say, well, I've been double vaccinated, okay. But then we're also talking of the flu, right? Yeah. Because of the interaction with people. So I think to put this in context, earlier in the week, actually, I was invited to a roundtable event at which the Secretary of State for Health, Sajid Javid, was. He was in attendance to that event, and a number of other health leaders within the United Kingdom, and it was to talk about this particular issue. I was there, and as well, Pastor Tony was there. We were invited to be part of that conversation because of the work that we've been doing, just helping to, get people informed and educate people about this situation. So there's recognition of what's been going on there. Also, I want to say that obviously from the time we talked previously about this, we were very much in, if you like, the pure science space, the science, if you like, development stage, where people were asking questions about the science itself. And of course, that was where I was really in my space. Now we're in the public health deployment space, where we're now talking of the logistics of it, where we're now talking of getting people to get into the habit of, good health habits. And that's where you then have kind of the NHS experts in NHS and people who are experts in primary care delivery, being really in their space. And that's why I personally benefited from being part of that conversation, because then we had people who are GPs, people who are, again, leaders of excellence in NHS, talking about some of these things that you've mentioned and how that's important. I said all of that to set the context, to say that whatever I'm going to say next is very much against that context, right? First of all, the context of we've done well as a nation and as a people, let's not be complacent. But then against the context of saying that this consideration about a change in the season and just being prepared for winter is very much a real one. And to first of all answer the second question you asked, which is about people saying, I've had the COVID vaccines, double jabbed, why should I need to have the flu vaccine as well? Well, the short answer is because they are two different conditions. Okay, they are not the same. So one vaccine does not cover for the other. It's a bit like asking whether because I've had the yellow fever vaccination, I should then not have anti-malarial tablets. I mean, they are not the same thing, right? And the same thing with typhoid. So they might sound similar, but they're not the same.
They're different.
Right? They're quite different. And so, but what that then does happen with things like that is because it's one thing, having just COVID. It's another thing. It's one thing having just the flu. It's another thing potentially having both. And I think what the public health system, right? So the nation is trying to do is we don't want a situation where, we're having to say, okay, this is how we manage this condition or this, complication. We want a situation where we say we are prepared. There's nothing to worry about. It's as simple as making sure that those that need to take the flu vaccine have taken their vaccines. Just like those who need to take the COVID vaccine, which everybody has done that. And then we can all go into winter and not be concerned about having something unexpected. So I think it's from that perspective. Public health primarily is about prevention. That's right. The best public health strategy is the one that sees something that could happen and prevents it from happening. What we saw with COVID was not public health. That was a public emergency. Right?
That's right.
That was when things had gone out of hand and we're now trying to contain it. Now public health says that, make sure the vaccination program is there so that you don't even have a situation where the hospitals are overwhelmed. And then we're talking the same stories as we were telling last time. We shouldn't have to go back there. Right? Now we understand the power of vaccination. We can see that. You alluded to a point earlier where you said we've heard things saying that people who a lot of the people who are being hospitalized now are people who are not vaccinated, and that's true. On that conversation, one of the numbers that came across was that 98% of people who are hospitalized right now due to COVID are people who have not been double vaccinated. So I think that tells you the number right there. So again, the emphasis of this conversation is not really about COVID. I think that we've talked a lot about it and people hopefully understand what needs to be done. But we are saying that going into the winter, like you said, you might be getting summons, you might be getting letters saying, please come and have your flu vaccination. That's for good reason. You're getting those letters possibly because you've been grouped as being within the category of the vulnerable. So, children within a certain age range, the elderly within a certain age range, pregnant women, people with comorbidities or health conditions. These are the groups of people that are likely to be receiving letters asking them to come and have their flu vaccines, and they should do that, right? And it's don't say because I've had COVID vaccination, then it's a substitute for flu vaccination. It's not, because they are not the same.
I mean, it would be the worst experience ever to have COVID.
So I'm going to pause there and just check whether.
So it would be the worst experience ever. I was saying to have both COVID and flu at the same time, because you just can't imagine what that would feel like.
I heard that. And I think one thing I'm very keen to do is, I would much rather people came at this from a perspective of anticipation, of being proactive and just doing, rather than from a perspective of fear or thinking this could happen. Because the fact is, look, if people don't take precautions, if you keep saying to a person, when you're driving, fasten your seatbelt and drive within the speed limit. Obviously, the person, if they think about it, could think about, what could happen if I, instead of doing 70 miles an hour, I decided to do 120 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
You could do that, but I think in general, if you did want people to in a healthy sort of way, to do the right things, right, and adopt the right behaviors, I think let's look at it from a civic responsibility, not just to the people around us, but to ourselves and our families.
Absolutely.
Right? Let's it's the same reason, like we say, when you're going to travel to a nation where you have particular conditions endemic. I mean, recently we've had the malaria vaccine, right, being approved or recommended for rollout by WHO, right? Yeah. That's a win, right? It now means that when children are going to that, that space or children within those regions where malaria is endemic, they have the option. Right? And you would say to yourself, well, obviously I could go and take a chance and say, well, you catch malaria and you get fine, or I could have the vaccine.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's right. So
the same reason why, if you're going there, you might say, you know what, I'll take the anti-malarials. I don't want to wait until I catch malaria. You're not doing it because you think, I'm going to catch malaria, it's going to be terrible. You just don't want to.
Yeah, that's right. So, I think one of the things that we all just have to bear in mind for this period is that this winter is like no other for now, really. It's going to be like no other, because last year we were on lockdown, so you didn't really have to mingle with so many people. You were not really as exposed as you would be now. And so I would rather protect myself than, it feels good to be able to walk into a room without worrying about mask or this or that, So if you really want to keep it that way, as Prof said, we have done a very good job, even as a people, as a nation, to battle this COVID. And let's not undo that by, just leaving all the, maybe ignoring all the letters or the text messages that you get to get your flu vaccine. So if you get a letter, please do go for it. I'm definitely taking my children. My children have been invited, so I'll take them to have it. So and
I just wanted to, we've just come to the end of our time here, but I just wanted to put out just some final words before we move on, which are the final words will be, we will be seeing campaigns, in the media from the government talking about, besides what we just talked about, these behaviors that we need to maintain. So things like washing our hands, sanitizing often, that's to continue. Things like wearing face masks under recommended conditions. So in public transport, when you're in an enclosed space, because you have no way of knowing who's being vaccinated or who's not, that's still going to be recommended, particularly so as we come into winter. Things like ventilating the rooms and the spaces in which we are. We're going to be seeing that information. We're going to be seeing campaigns. It might not be hand space, it might be something else, but let's all do our bit, right? I think, as you said, Bibby, we've enjoyed, I think, the not having to be locked up, locked away, right? Yes, we still have to take precautions, but that's life, right? We wear seatbelts when we drive. We don't complain that it ruins our experience of driving. Yes, there was a generation in which they didn't have to wear seatbelts, but we don't look back at that generation and say, oh, that was a great time. Now we say we know better, we do better. So to everyone, I'm sure this conversation will continue, but let's keep doing better.
Yes. Thank you very much, Prof. Yes, people, let's keep doing better. And please don't go anywhere. When we come back, will be our Spotlight Minutes. See you shortly.
We are plagued with gaps all around us. There is a gap between where you are and where you want to be. Some gaps are obvious, others are not. Sometimes the gap is in our own minds. It is time to mind the gap. In this series, come and learn how to bridge the critical gaps in our lives. Join us every Wednesday this October from 7:25 p.m. on Facebook or YouTube at HOTR London. Don't tune in alone. Invite someone along. Jesus came to fill the gap.
Hello, sis. Good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
How are you? All good?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you guys?
Very well, thank you. This is me seeing
all the better now that you've joined us.
I know, right? It's me seeing you two times in a row. You know, that's really good. It's a sign of good things. You know, it's a sign of good things. So thank you for joining us this morning. It's so good to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So usually when we start this, I know that Christine, right now you've probably got your group of fans called Christinas who are watching. But apart from those fans, so they know everything about you. Yeah, Christianites. But now there are some other people who may not know much about you. So can you tell us just one thing about yourself that those who are watching may not know?
I'm actually learning how to speak Spanish. That's something that people who even know me don't know about yet, I think.
So can you ask us, how are you doing in Spanish?
¿Cómo estás?
¿Cómo estás?
Yeah, fine. So how do we respond then?
So you can say esto bien.
Esto bien. Oh, ¿cómo está?
Muy bien, ¿no?
Muy bien, yeah, you could say muy bien, I'm very well, or you could say bien, I'm fine.
You are the only person left out here. It's okay, let's move on. Bibby is getting a bit.
I'm loving the Spanish class. I think we should continue. But anyway, sis, don't worry. Next time I see you, you're good. I'll have some words written out already so that when I see you, you can tell me how to say those words in Spanish. So that would be really good. So thank you for joining us. Yes, as you know, you've joined us on our Spotlight Minute, and this morning we have two options of our game for you. So you have to tell us which one would you go for. I think I have a preference, but I'll let you make your choice. And the first option is all about you. So this is where Prof will ask you different questions, random questions about you, and you answer as many as possible under 30 seconds. And then the second option is tell me something. This is where I will give you a word and you use that word as many times as possible under 30 seconds. But I must say that when you use the word in sentences, those sentences have to make sense. Do you understand? So what will be your option this morning?
I think I'll go for the first option.
Oh, my preference is the second option, but anyway.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
That's fine. I'm really looking for someone to come on rhyme, just come on rhyme some songs for us here. But anyway, that's fine. So Prof will take you on that. So what will happen is the timer will be on your screen. If you can't see it, don't worry. I will tell you when your time starts and when it ends as well. But as I always say to all of our guests, time is of essence. So if you don't know an answer to a question, just say pass so Prof can ask you another question. So the faster you are in answering, the better for you. Like the more chances you have anyway. So Prof, are you ready to go?
Yes.
Yes, you are. Sis, are you ready to go?
Yes, I am.
All right. So your time starts now.
What's your favorite emoji?
The amen sign.
What's your most addicting site on the internet?
Google.
What was your favorite age?
8.
What is the one food you'd never get bored of eating?
Bread.
What's your most favorite show? Your favorite show?
Valeria.
Your favorite sports?
The Zumba.
Time
okay. Zumba is a sport, is it? Okay, fine. We take that.
Actually, it's CrossFit, but okay. Yeah, Zumba is a sport, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll still see Zumba at the Olympics.
Was that 6? That was 6 or 5?
That was 6. Yes, that was 6.
Yes. I thought so, because like your last question, I was already thinking, oh gosh, we should get it. We should get. But your favorite sport is Zumba. Is that what you said?
Yeah, but I don't know if Zumba is, but I think it's CrossFit, but I just said it first.
Christine is going to represent Great Britain at the Zumba at the Olympics.
Of course, yes, we can make it a sport. That's absolutely fine. Thank you so much, sis. Well done. That was great. Yes. Well done to you. Don't go anywhere. You know we will see you in service anyway. So thank you.
No problem.
Thank you very much. Well done.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Wow, well done, sis. That was so good. I mean, 6. I don't know why I keep saying 5, you know, like I really want you to get 5. Sorry, sis. Yes, 6.
She got 6, yes.
So she got 6, and that was very good. Thank you so much. At least now I know somebody else in church will speak Spanish. So when I see you next, I'm coming for my Spanish.
You say somebody else. Who else do you know that speaks Spanish?
No, because you know, like there's some. I've met some ladies before in church that they actually speak.
Well, we've got a Spanish sister, obviously.
Yes. So,
but I wouldn't count her because that's her mother tongue. I think you meant Spanish as a second language, right? For her, Spanish is our first language. So,
it's just, you know what I'm loving about this? What I'm loving about this is that we actually getting to know the kind of things that we have in-house. You know, some of these things we go outside to pay people and all of that, but we do have them in-house and we can benefit from that. We can get discounted rates, free.
You like paying people to learn Spanish for us.
Well, yes. I'll pay to learn. If the person can work around my schedule and all of that, I'll do it. But anyway, don't mind Prof. He doesn't want to learn Spanish. That's why he's not interested in Spanish. But anyway, thank you. Thank you all so much for joining us this morning. It has been very, very fun. I hope you've had fun as well. And as always, please, let's make sure we tell our friends and family about this show. And we want you guys to engage with us as well. And right about now, it is time for service. And as the minister on the show, as always, Prof, please take us into service.
Thank you very much, Bibby. So today is the 17th of October, and that brings us right in the middle of the month because we've had 2 Sundays before this one and we'd have 2 more Sundays before. That's a unique thing, actually. Well, not unique, but it's not often that we have that happening in a month. So what does that mean for us? It means that we have this privilege of sitting in the middle Sunday of the month, you know, right at the cusp of making a decision or learning things that will help us to finish out this month with a bang. And so, to help us do that, coming up next, Hill City Choir, bringing us really inspiring sound of music from heaven. We've got Pastor Timmy, of course, bringing the pièce de résistance, the word for the day. And of course, looking forward to seeing you there, virtually or in person. Don't go anywhere.
Yes.
See you there.
See you there. Bye.